Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Astros Baseball. On this episode, we're going to talk about the Astros versus the Brewers. The Astros take the series 2-1, a 6-1 homestand so far. There's 3 left against the Angels. The Astros are 8-2 in their last 10. They're actually 13-13 at Minute Maid Park, 8-13 away. Joining me today to talk about this, Ryan. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, what's going on? Rob, good to see you. Nice to be back in the saddle with you.
Back in the saddle. So on the last episode, I was with Wally and we were talking, you know what? After that sweep of the A's, with the pitching matchups we had, I was thinking 1-2 would be okay, but 2-1 would be awesome. And it
Yep.
seems like we won the 2 games that I thought we would probably lose, and we lost the game I thought we were probably going to win.
Yeah, I think that I was going into today's game a little bit more questionable when looking at the series. Yesterday's was a tough loss, but it's a nice. The Brewers aren't a shabby team, and for them to come into Minute Maid Park and for the Astros to show up at home and take 2 out of 3 is a good showing.
I think it was pretty good. All right, so game 1 was Hunter Brown. This is one of those iffy games, although I want to say last time he was out, I want to say he pitched 5 innings of
2-run ball.
two-run
Mhm.
bullpen work, but still the confidence level's low. And it started out top of the second. Bowers had a solo home run, but then Jake the Snake in the bottom of the second inning, a 2-run bomb. 2-1 Astros. Top of the fourth, Ortiz 3-run homer makes it 4-2. But the Astros come back in the fifth. JP3 says, "You want to hit a 3-run homer? I'll hit a 3-run homer." We're up 5-4. That ended up being the final score. What can you say about Jake Myers? We're going to talk about him a lot more this episode, I'm sure. But JP3, this kid struggled his second year of playing ball. And this year he, talked about I changed this on my swing and whatever he did. And he actually talked about it, but it wasn't all talk. It actually worked.
Yeah, Pena, extend the kid now. Sign him long term. Let's do it. No, I think the thing that's been really fun to watch with Pena is, man, he's hitting balls that last year were his Achilles heel. And he's hitting them with power. He's getting good barrel on the bat. And whatever it is, mechanics wise and or vision wise, that he did to retrain his eye to recognize those low and away breaking balls that killed him last year. This year, he's seeing the ball so much better. His swing mechanics are different. Anybody who's really been watching him for a while and really paid attention last year, you can see the difference in his swing. And like you said, that just naturally, the byproduct of that is higher confidence. And the kid is just killing it right now. And it's so much fun to watch him take this role with the team as such a young guy that has so much expectations, being, the follow-up, the replacement to Carlos Correa, who meant so much to this team for so many years. To see Pena come in and really take the bull by the horns and I don't know, I'm not going to say carry this team because there's a lot of guys right now that are contributing. But he's really stepped up in a big way that I don't think a lot of people really expected.
The thing to me about JP3 is you go into spring training and there's stories. This guy lost weight. This guy's in better shape. This guy worked on this and this guy worked on that. And it doesn't always work out. We have high expectations for someone because they might have figured it out, but he's one of the ones that for sure, when he said he did it, he wasn't playing around. Hunter Brown, 5 innings, 4 hits and 4 runs, 3 walks. He gave up 4 runs, but one of them was a 3-run home run. Scott, who's been awesome. Montero, Abreu. Hader picks up save number 6. A 4-inning, 3-hit, no-run outing for the bullpen. They've been great lately.
It's nice to know that you can rely on this bullpen now. Starting the season, the back end of the bullpen was not what anybody expected. The middle of the bullpen was the surprise because we had to have a good middle of the bullpen when going into the season. That was where all the question marks really were. We thought we were going to have a pretty good starting rotation, and the back end was supposed to be maybe the best ever that baseball has seen. And the middle of the rotation was where a lot of us, we were just wondering what the heck it was going to end up looking like. And we're praying that starters were going to end up being able to go deep into games, and the back end of this bullpen would be able to wrap them all up. We know how all that went for the first, 40-ish games, 30-ish, 35, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's been really nice to see Hader step into his role, embrace it, and pull down those saves. Definitely.
So offensively, JP3 went 1 for 4, but he made it count. And Jake only had 1 hit, and he made it count. Kyle Tucker, 2 for 3. Caratini, 2 for 4. What a great signing that was. Alex Bregman had a hit. Altuve had a hit. The Astros 5 runs on 10 hits, 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and they left 6 on base. Great win for the Astros, 5-4. It was a close game. It was a game that I thought maybe we would struggle with, but we won, and it was great to win that first game because game 2, we have JV, and this is the game that I was counting on as a win, and we'll get to it. But so we took the lead first. Bottom of the third, Dubon had an RBI single, and then top of the 5th, he gives up a home run, and
Which JV does.
Yeah, he does, and then he couldn't find the strike zone.
Yep.
Walked a couple of guys, and then him and Contreras had the battle of the century at the plate, capped off by a 3-run homer. I don't even think JV was upset about it because he said he was putting the pitches where he wanted to do it, and this guy just kept fouling him off. But a 3-run homer, that gave them a 4-1 lead, but it wouldn't have been that bad if he wasn't struggling finding the zone, but that kind of got us out of the game a little bit there.
Yeah, he said after the game, we went to battle or we went to war and he won. So he tipped his hat to Contreras, and JV was gassed that inning. I mean, he threw almost 50 pitches or something ridiculous like that.
It was 50, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty darn close. And with that pitch clock, man, he was gassed. I mean, that's a sprint right there. A whole inning with 50 pitches, considering the pitch clock. And you're going after, the at bat prior to Contreras was 8 or 10 pitches. So it was a really rough inning for JV. And you just have to tip your hat to Contreras. He legged it out and won that battle. But, JV looked, I didn't think he looked that bad.
No.
He was missing the strike zone. There was a little bit of inconsistencies as far as the way some of the balls and strikes were being called, but I didn't think he looked that bad. He definitely wasn't vintage Verlander. But that was a game that I felt, again, just going back to, last year and the year before, getting run support for JV sometimes comes at a premium. And so only giving JV 2 runs to work with, that's a tough outing when he had to struggle the way he did there towards the end of his outing. So that's a game that you'd really probably like to come back and play again.
Yeah.
But it went the way that it was. There were a lot of people that were really upset. Twitter was going crazy. The spaces were all, the Astros, are they back to their old ways of not scoring runs? And, it's just one of those games. It's baseball. Yeah. It's baseball.
It happens. So those were his only 2 walks of the game. Mm-hmm. He walked the 2 guys in front of that 3-run bomb. But Jake Myers, he tried to give us a little bit of hope. He had a solo home run, his 5th homer of the year in the 5th, and then there was no more scoring, so we did lose 4-2. JV 4 2/3, so he almost got out of the 5th. 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them in the 5th. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. Going into the 5th inning, his pitch count was 40 or something like that, and it looked like he was easily going to stroll 7 or 8 innings for us, and it was looking good going into the 5th. Magic Man, 2 1/3 inning, 2 hits and a walk and no runs. And Parker Mashinsky, who just got brought up this week, 2 innings of scoreless baseball. And what's crazy about his stat line, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts, 2 innings, and all zeros. What can you say about these two guys that come in and it's kind of like these games where they throw people like this in there, and they throw Taylor Scott and Mushinski and this kind of, it feels like these are the games that, okay, this game's kind of gotten away from us. Let's save our bullets for the next game. But they did perfect. They did great.
Yeah, if there was a bright spot in that game, it was definitely those guys. Mushinski getting called up and thrown back into the mix, which he has been quite a few times over the course of the last couple of years with this team. He usually comes up and actually ends up doing pretty good. And answers the call. So yeah, if there was a bright spot last night, it was definitely Mushinski and the Magic Man, doing their work from the bullpen. So I had to say that, the other bright spot obviously is Jake. But last night, one of the other things that I really noticed was Pena and Altuve's work together defensively. There were a couple of plays in that game where they just looked way smoother and they just looked like meshed together than really they have been maybe ever. There were just some plays where Altuve fed Pena the ball or Pena fed Altuve the ball, and it just looked like they were in sync. And not that they've never been before. There was just something different about that defensive play from them last night. There were a couple there up the middle that was it just the chef's kiss on them. It was, again, sad to lose that game because of some of those bright spots. But it's one of those games you ride
one
off
inning.
Hit the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was today Altuve stopped the ball and our announcers actually said, all right, that's a hit up the middle. Oh, wait. Altuve got it, threw it over to Jeremy Pena. So Jake the Snake, I want to call him Jake the Snake, but Jake from Rake Farm, 3 for 4. He had an RBI and he scored twice. Dubon 1 for 3. He drove in a run. Altuve, I didn't look this up, but I think the last series he got a hit every game, and he got a hit this game. Did he get a hit the first game? Yeah, 1 for 4. It's like he's going 1 for 4 every game. Yordan 1 for 4. Kyle Tucker 0 for 2, but he walked twice. Pena 1 for 4. Singleton 1 for 4. The Astros scored 2 runs on 8 hits. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And they left 7 on base. Definitely a game we could have won, but it's definitely not a game that I ran to Twitter and I cried about things and said, "Oh, what's wrong with them?" I don't think people realize what they're doing right now. If you have anything negative to say about our team, it's the 2 series before the Yankees and since. They've been amazing. Game 3, Spencer Arrighetti. This is another one, but last time out, I believe he picked up his first win. He's pitching better. And this is a game that I cried about. I tweeted something out because I was pissed. I was mad about something, folks, and we'll get to it. So top of the first, Yelich had an RBI single. And then we go to the bottom of the first. Altuve swings at the first pitch, crushes it. 8th home run of the year. We're up. It's tied 1-1. Alvarez scored on a Singleton ground out. And then Jake Myers, a 2-run double, 4-1 Astros.
What's really awesome is in these games like today, where the Astros really click and everything comes together, everybody in the lineup is conspiring to help this team win. Caratini was the only one without a hit today, right? I think that there's something that is gelling with this team. Just talked about Altuve and Pena playing defense together, but there's some confidence going all the way through this lineup. And these guys are going out there, and now they've just kind of they've built that, say the word confidence again, in knowing that when they go out there, they're going to go out there and hit the ball. They're going to go out there and make something happen. Those first 30 games of the season, you didn't sense that from this team. The rest of the league is in trouble watching this team play again today, coming off of a loss and knowing that, Jake is hot. Tucker is, I'm sure we'll touch on that. But he's ridiculously hot right now as well. And everybody is doing their part. I think that's the thing about this team right now that I've noticed is we're not relying on, Tucker and Pena at the top of the lineup are the only ones really doing anything. 1 through 9, guys are contributing. No matter who Espada is putting out, they're all contributing something to this team for the most part. Diaz has been struggling. Jordan has been struggling. But Jordan today, dang, stealing a base. He hadn't done that in 2 years, 3 years. But these guys are playing with a little bit of hoopspa, and I love it.
Yeah. So Singleton had an RBI single in the 5th. We go up 5-1. When I looked at the pitching matchups, I could be wrong, but it was like Spencer Arrighetti, JV, and Hunter Brown against 3 pitchers that their ERA was all in the 3s. They all only had 1 loss. The Brewers had a great record, and it didn't look that great. I mean, but you got to have confidence in this team now after this series. So anyway, Kyle Tucker had a home run, 14th home run of the year. He leads the Major League Baseball in home runs. We're up 6-1. And here's where I get upset. Spencer Arrighetti pitches probably one of his best games of the season. And they throw him back out there in the 7th. I think he's got 80 pitches, maybe in the 80s. And he goes in, I think he just walks 2 guys. I can't remember what happened, but it seemed like 2 guys got on very, very easily. Then they pull him out. And then they bring Abreu in. It's like, give Abreu a clean inning. Like, what are you doing? And they're like, this guy has never thrown this many innings in his career. He's never went this far, not even in minor league baseball. Like, why would you do this to him? Why would you? I mean, maybe he wanted to go in. I don't know. Maybe he wants to. It's kind of like they're like what they were saying on TV is they're like, let's throw him out there and see what he can do. Let's see if he can go where he's never been before. And I didn't like it.
Yeah. I think that obviously when looking back at this and seeing, him going that deep into the game and let's test him out, let's let him build some confidence or let him feel out a different part of the game that he's never really been to before. You had the lead.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to damage a guy like Arrighetti's confidence, throwing him out there and testing him this early in his career and this early in his season, in my opinion. I think that maybe the lead that they had buffered that a little bit, buffered that decision for Espada and Miller to say, hey, let's get him out there and let's see if he can wrap up a few more, save some of the bullpen for the next series. And you may be right. Maybe Arrighetti went to those 2 guys, Espada and Miller, and said, hey, I'm good. I want to go back out there and see if I can really wrap this up. Being a rookie, I kind of have a hard time buying into that maybe a little bit. But at the same time, if they asked him, hey, how are you feeling? We'd love to save the bullpen. Can you go another one? What rookie in that position is going to say, no, man, I'm gassed. I'm done. Heck yeah. Give me the ball, coach. Like I'm in. Right.
Yeah.
So it could have gone a number of ways in that conversation, but in the end, it played out as a win. Did he have to go in and get tested like that? Maybe not.
Yeah. So the thing that makes me mad is this. And for me, it's just me wanting him to look, I don't know. I mean, he's getting better, but I want him getting better to show up in his stats. Because his first game out, he got lit up. And in a normal situation, they would have taken him out. But they just left him out there. And I don't know how many innings he pitched, but they just let him get 9 runs scored against him. And his ERA was in the 40s or something ridiculous. It was super, super high. And every game he's been bringing it down. And he had it down. And by going in there and giving up 2 runs, it kind of hurt it. He wasn't out there pitching when it happened, but he was the one that got the runners on. So for me, that's what it was. It's like he got his ERA down from where it started, and then it went right back up with those 2 runs. So that's kind of what bothered me. And it's like, if you got Abreu ready to go, just put him out there. I don't know.
Yeah. And Felix left us a comment and raised a really good point. Probably wouldn't have been that big of a problem if you had somebody warming up in the bullpen. So, perhaps after that first little bit of Arrighetti getting out there and starting to struggle, they had to let him go another batter probably or two to get the bullpen warmed up. So that's a really good point.
I think he got one guy out, if I'm not mistaken. He had to have because he
had
6 in the third.
6 in the third. Yep.
Felix, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, we're cruising 6-1. This guy hasn't been there. He hasn't been that far yet. And maybe they just wanted to test him. But like I said, for me, it's the fact that his ERA was so ballooned, and I'd like to see him chop it down. And I don't know. Hindsight's 2020 because I wouldn't have got mad if he would have struck 3 guys out. I wouldn't have said a word.
Yeah, we'd have been celebrating, right? Arrighetti went 7.
But it just looked like when he went out there, it's like that. I guess that's why, because you could tell he wasn't ready. He's gassed. He's too tired. He wasn't ready. But he went. Let me see. I think we got more scoring here. So they got a 2-run single, 6-3. Oh, they scored 3 runs. They tacked 3 runs on him, and then Yelich had an RBI single, 6-4, and then so they made it closer there. But Kyle Tucker said, "I got you. I got you." In the bottom of the 7th, 3-run homer, 9-4 win for the Astros. Kyle Tucker's been amazing. I don't think the player of the series is going to be that hard, but I think Kyle Tucker is going to be one of the guys that are up there. Arrighetti, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. It should have been 5 innings, 3 runs. 6 innings, 3 runs, 0 runs, 1 run. Whatever, I'm lost. But his ERA is 7.16, and it would have been lower if they wouldn't have threw him back there. Abreu, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, no runs allowed. Scott, 2 innings. This guy's been amazing too. 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. Who is this guy? Who is this guy wearing Charlie Morton's jersey? Kyle Tucker went 2 for 5 with 2 home runs. That's home run number 15, I believe. Singleton, 2 for 4. I heard this. Did you hear this today that Abreu's coming back?
I saw the reports. That he could very well meet them in Oakland next week.
Yikes. Everybody's thinking the same thing probably. Come on, dude. Yeah. You figured it out that fast? Come on. All right.
No, I mean, he hasn't performed well in FCL. He just hasn't really. He hasn't. I don't know. I don't know.
Why is he coming back? Because he can, I guess. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Where am I at? Singleton 2 for 4. Jake went 3 for 5. He drove in 2. Loperfido quietly hitting 333. He went 2 for 3 today. Altuve, another hit. Yordan 1 for 3, 2 runs. Altuve's hit was a home run. The Astros 9 runs on 14 hits. You got to love this offense. 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position. And they left 11 on base. I could care less if you do that if you score 9 runs.
Yep.
I will take this. My thoughts on this series. This will be my thoughts before we get to the fun stuff. They surprised me. I figured, okay, they're going to win the JV game, and hopefully one of these guys can get one of these wins for us. And, man, if JV wouldn't have blew up that inning, we might have swept them. And we're talking about, what would it be, a 8-game win streak?
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
All right.
Would have been. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, pal. All right. So we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to give you our Ram Shirts player of the game. He sent me this because it's so similar to the name of the show. It's not even a fancy shirt, but I really like it. Yeah. I can't figure out the camera on this. All right. But anyway, folks. Yeah. Anyway, folks, we'll be right back with more Astros baseball. All right, we're back. It is time for the Ram Shirts players of the series. I need to put like an echo on right there. Let me tell you something real quick because I wanted to say this earlier. Today, was the first day in my 53 years on Earth that I went to the chiropractor.
Oh.
And that noise, I'm already scared of it looking at people do it. But when he did it to me, I yelled, "Fuck." I didn't have to finish the word. I was like, it was the craziest feeling. And he did it twice, but I'm still hurting, but it's okay.
Oh, wow. Well, I started going to the chiropractor very young as an athlete, probably middle school, high school, I guess. But so I've been used to it for a long time, but that doesn't mean I haven't gone in my older age and had some adjustments that made me feel just the way that you explained.
Dang. And my wife was next to me, and he did her, and it was like click.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, I guess it's louder when you're the one that's being done to. And the doctor's like, oh no, yours was pretty loud. Like, okay, I thought it was just me. All right. Ram Shirts, player of the series. Pitcher. Who do you got, pal?
I'm going to give it to Arrighetti. Despite his 7th inning blow up, the kid went out there and started a game and pitched 6 really good innings, kept this team in the game. His stuff was working well. He worked with Caratini very well today, and that was, I guess his last outing. He threw to Diaz. So I'm going to give Arrighetti the nod for this one today, for his outing today.
Well, my pitcher of the series is also Spencer Arrighetti. So you're thinking the same thing I am. I think you did great.
Yeah.
We do got a comment here. Let's see what they got. Is it a chiropractor comment or is it
it's Felix
not having a reliever warming? Okay.
He said his was Tyler Scott.
That'd be a good pick, Felix. Definitely a good pick.
Definitely a good pick.
That's what we did last time. We picked a lot of guys that, but the coach Rose, there's room for him there. Position player, who do you got?
I'm giving the nod to Jake Myers. Jake the Rake from Rake Farm. He has shown up in ways that a lot of people have not expected Jake to show up this season. And today pushed him over the 900 OPS mark. And he has come out of nowhere, I guess you could say. There were some of us that expected this out of Jake because I think that we knew that how good he was going to be when not injured. But I'm going to give it to Jake Myers just purely because I think fan expectation of Jake Myers is still somewhat low for some reason and to some extent. So Jake from Rake Farm is my player of the series.
My position player of the series is also Jake Myers. We
did not discuss this prior.
No. 1 for 3, drove in 2, 3 for 4, drove in 1, 3 for 5, drove in 2, 7 for 12, 5 RBIs, and Chaz McCormick, who? That's how it is.
Yikes.
He's playing so good that people aren't like, oh, I can't wait till Chaz gets back. He's playing very good. Very good.
Rob, he has a 1.136 ERA for the month of May.
Who does?
Jake Myers.
ERA?
Or what did I say? I said ERA? I meant OPS.
OPS. That's what I thought you were saying.
OPS, 1.136 OPS, a 674 slug, 462 on base percentage, and a 391 batting average in the month of May. Those are ridiculous numbers. Over these next 6 games that come up, 6, how many more games do we have left in May? Today's the 19th. Jake is in the running for player of the month. He's going to have to be with those kind of numbers, and he might be very well fighting his own teammate Kyle Tucker, but Jake Myers is on a run.
All right, so Felix said someone on Twitter said something interesting. Lunow drafted him. Click wanted him to start, and Brown gave him the position. So 3 general managers trust Jake Myers. I got a cough, but anyway, who do you got as the Coach Rose winner, someone that exceeded your expectations.
I'm going to give it to Jeremy Pena. I think that Jeremy Pena, we talked about it. The kid has shown up in ways that were just very different from last year. And the guy is coming to the plate in big moments. He's making really, really great defensive plays and saving this team some runners on base. And I like Jeremy Pena to get my rose.
All right, this is the only time we're not going to agree. But this one is hard to agree on because there's so many things that you could do. You could say like, well, I think Kyle Tucker should have won an award just based on all the home runs he hit, so I'm going to give it to him. But I give it to, and we brought him up earlier about how good he's done. Just barely got called up. Parker Mashinsky, 2 scoreless innings. He's the one with all the zeros. I'll take that. Parker Mashinsky's my Coach Rose winner.
Right.
All right, so I don't know if I have this banner or not for that. Oh, yeah, I do. Standings. Standings are getting better, folks. Standings are getting better. Seattle 25-22. Texas 24-24. They're a game and a half back.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros 21-26. 4 games back. 4 games back. Me and Wally did a fair or foul. Will the Astros be 3 games back at the end of the 10-game homestand? And they're getting there. They are getting there like a freight train. Oakland and LA is 7 games back, and that is our next opponent, the LA Angels of Anaheim. Framber's going on. Sometimes I forget what day it is. They're going on Monday against Detmers, who's 3-4 with a 5.19 ERA. Then it's Javier, who bounced back last time, 3.23 ERA against Canning, 2-4 with 5.21, and then Hunter Brown, 7.71, even after that great game, versus Anderson, who's 4-4 with a 2.72 ERA. I would say the pitching advantage, the better team advantage. This could be a sweep.
This series going in is going to be an interesting one because I think the Rangers just lost 2 of 3 against Anaheim. They lost today, I know, 4-1. And so, yes, this is a series that the Astros need to sweep. I mean, if you want to really start making some people mad around the league, get out there and sweep the Angels and get back up there at the top of the AL West, because neither the Mariners or the Rangers are playing very good ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros could very well be atop of the AL West by the end of the week.
Could be. All right. Now it is time. Oh, we already talked about that. Next up, Angels. Sorry, folks. I am not quick with that. All right. So this is the first time for you to do this. We've been doing fair or foul, but last episode, and I don't know if I was expecting you to do this, so we'll see. We'll see if you like it. Last time they were all about baseball, and this time it is not.
Okay.
This was kind of, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So I will say, would you rather? I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it. Would you rather? And then I'll give you 2 options.
Okay. Bring it on.
You can't be like Wally and have stipulations. Oh, it depends on if it's 80 degrees or if it's 70 degrees. Oh, this one is actually about that. All right. Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating or the internet?
Man.
But can we still have Wi-Fi so we can watch TV? That would count, right?
Can I just give up the heat and keep the AC?
See,
I do live in Houston, right? Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. You know,
I would just have to learn to live without the internet, dude.
I don't know, man. I've lived in Houston all my life. I jump into hot cars and in and outs. I do a lot of stuff outside. I work out outside, play baseball outside, run around with the kids outside. I'm a little climatized to the heat. And so I think if I had just some sort of ventilation so the house didn't get like super stuffy, I'd probably go without AC as opposed to the internet.
Yeah. I would just start reading or something. I
Just
don't know.
start reading books. Rob's going back to the 1890s.
Because to me, I don't want to wally it here, but I mean, I need internet to watch TV. So I guess I would have to switch to something else because I stream on my TVs. So I'm kind of wondering if they just mean like getting on the internet, not really having access
Maybe.
to it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'm super active in socials, and I'm kind of a nerd and love to learn stuff. And I use the internet, watch videos, and read research papers and stuff like that. So I'd have a very hard time going about daily life without the internet.
Yeah. So we went to HEB today. On the way out, I'm like, I want to live somewhere else. It is too hot. It is too hot. So I say I'd rather just give up the internet.
Yeah, there are a lot of people across Houston right now that are without AC. So, still,
you can get used to it.
Yeah,
it take a while, but you get used.
It takes a while. Yep.
Just like you could get used to not having the internet. You're probably like, wow, I have so much free time.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a lot of free time now.
Yes.
You'll get your life back and you'll be comfortable. All right. Number 2. Would you rather be able to detect every lie that you hear or get away with every lie that you tell?
I'd rather get away with every lie that I tell. I think my confidence would take a hit if I knew when people were lying to me. I think my way of relating to people would take too much of a hit. So sometimes I'd much rather be.
You wouldn't go, you're lying.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. I mean,
it'd be like, this guy knows we're lying all the time.
That would be really hard. That would be really hard. I don't know. I guess I'd rather people believe my lies as opposed to me knowing everyone else's lies. I don't know. I like to see the best in people, so I think that would ruin my perspective of
that's true.
Of some people too. So
I went with detect every lie I hear. And I'm going to tell you this, and some people listening may not believe this, but I do not lie. So I don't need that power.
Yeah.
I don't need to get away with it. Because if you lie once, you got to lie again, then you got to lie again.
Yeah.
And I just don't lie.
That one up and
I don't have any reason to lie. I don't have. I don't. If I do something wrong at work, I'm like, I did this and that shit broke, and it's gonna cost. I know it's gonna cost the company a lot of money, but I did it. Oh, it's okay.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. All right.
It's a great way to go through life. Definitely.
It is. Mm-hmm. I'm even known for not lying at work. Somebody did something. They're like, I'm glad Rob wasn't around. Because I know
he would have told the truth.
Yeah, he wouldn't have lied for me. But I'm not a rat either. So I guess I have lied.
Yeah.
Because I've been to HR. Hey, did you hear this guy say this? Even though I did, I'm like, I didn't hear anything. That's not really. I mean, I'm lying to them, but I'm just not a rat. I can't. I'm fighting for the person to keep their job, unless they did something bad. You see him slap that girl? Oh yeah.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. We're both married, so let's see what we say about this.
Oh boy.
Number 3.
Can I plead the 5th?
I didn't try to answer these. I wrote them down and I try to forget all about them so that we can have fun together. Would you rather marry someone that doesn't love you or marry someone that you don't love? Wow. I can tell you my answer right here just reading that. I'd rather marry someone that I don't love.
I'm going to agree with you on that. Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be with someone that didn't love me. I could be okay being the guy that's not in love, but being someone loving is nice.
Yep. I think I'd agree with you on that.
All right, we got one out of 3. All right, number 4. Would you rather know when you are going to die or how you're going to die? Wow.
I'd
That's tough.
probably rather know how as opposed to when.
Ooh,
I
what if it was
I
something
I
horrible?
think, well, I I think that I would
Like, if
not
you died in
go
a car
about
wreck,
life.
if
Yeah,
you
but I
if you
wouldn't
died in
probably
a
go
car
about
wreck,
life
yeah.
naturally,
Yeah.
and enjoy certain things if I knew when. I think there would be too much expectations on just day to day life,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be able to enjoy just life happening. Um, and so
You can
if
enjoy
I'm,
life more because you know how much time you got left, and you're like,
well,
I gotta enjoy life. I'm
it's kind of true.
the
Yeah,
clock's ticking.
it's kind of true, unless it's 24 hours or 48 hours from now.
You're gonna die
And I
tomorrow.
just
Oh, shit.
know that, you know, yeah, I don't know. That would be that. I mean, that's a really tough one. It really is for me, because I just think that, when you've had people around you die for certain reasons and
Yeah.
not live a long life, you do certain things do come into perspective. So I think I'd rather go through life, just naturally, and
Yeah.
not have an expectation based on time. Um, None of us have much of it anyway.
Yeah.
So
So you wanna know when you're gonna die.
no, I want to know how.
You wanna know how?
Yeah. Tell me how.
Wow.
Yep.
So what if your greatest fear is like my greatest fear? And I'll tell you this, I was watching these videos. Actually, I watched one video and then they kept popping up on TikTok of
The algorithm got you.
these guys that like squeeze into those caves,
Hmm.
and it makes me sick because I have the worst claustrophobia ever. And if I know, I guess how like if you know you're gonna die in an avalanche, just stay. You know, you would try to. I'm gonna stay away from hills. I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I rather just know when I'm gonna die because if it's a like I was trying to say earlier, if you're gonna die in a car wreck, every
Hmm.
time you turn the key, you're like, "Is today the day I'm
It's
gonna
today the
die?
day.
Is today
It's
the
already
day?"
that way, but
But if you know when you're gonna die, or I don't know, that would be tough. Be
yeah,
tough on your family.
I think you could game either. You could game either one,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
If it's a car wreck, then how do you game that by, avoiding being in the car,
yeah,
or the avalanche or whatever,
yeah. You
and
really
the
can't.
time,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're opposite on that one. You'd rather know how. But it would be cool if they're like, "You're gonna die of old age." Yes.
Yes.
Then you get both answers at
Thank
once.
you. That's right.
All right, number 5. Would you rather be able to teleport yourself anywhere or be able to read people's minds?
Teleport.
Me too.
Yep.
Teleport me around, baby. I don't care what
Yep.
everybody's in everybody's heads.
Yep. I don't want to be, I don't want to be in my mind is already messed up. I don't want to be in anybody else's mind. I mean, I can't imagine. This can be a dark place sometimes. I
It's
don't
just
want to be
like
in
right
somebody
now
else's.
when I said we went to HEB and it was hot, I'd be like, blink my eyes and I'm in Alaska in the snow, cooling off. Then I come back.
Yeah. Not even in the snow. I'm not a super big fan of snow, but take me somewhere that's 75 and sunny. I'll be good.
Yeah, anything like that. But I mean, you're sweaty. You're not going to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you care about reading people's minds? I mean, what
No, I don't want
that
to.
I think that would get like that would be a really good Twilight Zone episode. I think it would drive you crazy after a while,
Yeah,
unless you choose
there's
to
a
read
couple
their
of
mind.
movies out there, right? I don't know. Was it who was the guy who the movie where he could read women's minds? Um,
What a Woman Wants.
Gosh, is that what that movie
Mel
was?
Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And then
Yep.
they remade it.
I couldn't go through life like that, man.
I wonder if it depends on if you choose to read them.
Oh, no,
They're
you
like,
did
"Hey, I
not
want to
put
read
that
your
in there.
mind." Yeah,
You didn't put that in
because
there.
you have the ability to read their mind.
Okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't really say that you can turn that on and off, but
Okay.
I don't really care about that. I'd rather teleport anywhere because I like to travel, and I hate long plane trips. I'd like to go overseas, but if I could just teleport myself there in a snap, I'll take it.
Yeah, that would be great. We're gonna spend the afternoon in Paris, babe.
It's only you. You're like, "You gotta
Oh,
fly. I'll see you there.
all right. Well, yeah,
Tell me when you
understood.
get there, and I'll teleport myself there." All right. What the hell? Final thoughts. I'm going to show you this real quick. This
Okay.
is while he said this. Hopefully he doesn't watch the video. This was I wrote this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to explain that to you later, but I
Yes.
put that on there to make him laugh after the show last week. He didn't say it on the show, but anyway, final thoughts. What you got,
That's
pal?
funny. Man, my final thoughts. I'm excited to see that the Astros have some confidence and they have a little bit of snap in their step, right? I think that going into this Angels series, this might yet be the most important series of the season so far, because of the way that the Mariners and the Rangers are both playing at the current time. I think this is a series that the Astros can take. And it's a series where the Astros could seriously make some hay in the division. And, if this is the last series before Abreu and or Chaz come back, I think they need to set some expectations for what those two guys are going to need to be able to perform, at what levels those guys are going to be able to perform, coming back and being accepted back to some significant playing time. So this is a big series coming up. I'm excited to see it. And I just may be going to the game on Wednesday.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Wally brought this up on the last episode. The way that Jake Myers is playing, the way that Singleton's playing, he's not like gangbusters, but he's good for a hit. He's good for something. You know what I noticed, and I forgot to bring it up. I was so impressed with Loperfido's bunt. He bunted we had a runner on first and second. He bunted him over.
Yep.
And it was the most beautiful bunt. And I was thinking, this is the guy that needs to be up in the 10th inning. If he's sitting on the bench that game, we go into the 10th inning. That's the guy you want, because that's the first and best bunt I've seen by an Astro in 10 years.
Yep. Well, I think the disappointing thing about Chaz and Abreu coming back is it probably means Loperfido taking a trip back to Sugar Land.
Really?
I think him and Cabbage they don't have anybody else to really send down. So I think it's going to have to be Loperfido and Cabbage for both of those two guys to come back.
Wow.
So that's a little disappointing,
considering
how well Loperfido has performed. Small sample size, granted, but to think that those are the two guys that are there's no other position player choice, really.
Yeah. He's hitting 333, man.
So I know.
Wow. It's going to be interesting.
It will be.
Maybe the Astros do something. Maybe they do something. I can definitely see Chaz getting traded now. But anyway, that's all I have.
For those of you not watching the video, I just gave Rob a big nod on that.
Well, you're the one that opened our eyes. People that listen to this show, they know that you have the stats, and Chaz McCormick does really good, and then he tails off if he plays too much. But Jake Myers is just getting better and better and better. And I was one of those guys at the beginning of the year that said, Jake Myers is the center fielder. What are you talking about? Chaz McCormick is the center fielder. And I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong because, like we said earlier, I don't lie.
Yeah. Well, I think there's still, there was a lot of speculation coming into the season, but I think that there was some definite ways to look at the end of last season and some of the stats from last season and see how Dusty used these guys and extrapolate that out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I think Jake's season last year, when Chaz went down and Jake got all the playing time, he was awesome. He looks just like he was looking right now. And vice versa, when Chaz got a ton of playing time, very much like Dubon, you see the roller coaster ride and they end up tailing off and finding sea level again. So I think Jake is the real deal. This is not me saying that I don't think Chaz is the real deal. I think Chaz was quite possibly, other than Maldi, the biggest benefactor of Dusty Baker being the manager of the Houston Astros last year. Dusty knew how to use Chaz and put him in situations where he could succeed. And, maybe a spot I didn't catch on to exactly what Dusty was doing and didn't give Chaz the benefit of the doubt to start this season. So hopefully he comes. Look, I want every guy on this team to succeed and come back and play really well. And if that means that Chaz comes back and does really well, then great. If Abreu comes back and contributes to this team, we're paying you a ton of money. I hope you do come back and contribute to the team. But
I do too.
At the same time, got a little something good going on right now. So let's not mess with it too much.
All right. That's it, folks. I don't know how in the hell two of us got 50 minutes, but we did it. My battery's running low. I just got that alert. So it is, there's not a better time to say goodbye. So for Ryan, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time on Astros Baseball.